The news broke her spirit. She had spent her whole life running, giving and working, and now her body had declared a strike. Unfortunately, the bank retired her early, and the little gratuity she received disappeared faster than she could plan. Her hospital bills, medication, and rent consumed everything. She sold her car and started staying at home, trying to manage a small Ankara fabric business. Life slowed down, but unfortunately, Chioma's demands did not. At first, Grace tried to keep up appearances. She didn't want her daughter to know how bad things had become. Every time Chioma called to ask for money, she would smile and say, "Don't worry, baby, I will send it." But after each transfer, she would sit on her bed and cry, knowing she had just sent her food money for the week. As for Chioma, she was now surrounded by new friends in school and didn't notice the changing tone of her mother's voice. She was too busy taking pictures, going to birthday parties, and updating her phone. When Grace called and asked, "Chioma, when are you coming home to visit me?" she would reply, "Mommy, school is so stressful, maybe next month." But that next month kept moving like a shadow. One day, Grace collapsed in the kitchen while trying to lift a pot of soup. The neighbors rushed her to the hospital. The nurse who attended to her asked for an emergency contact. When they called Chioma, she said she was in the middle of an exam and would come as soon as possible. However, it took her 3 days to arrive. When she finally walked into the hospital, she looked more like a fashion model than a worried daughter. She wore designer jeans, sunglasses, and perfume that filled the room. She held a gift bag filled with flowers and said cheerfully, "Mommy, I brought you something." Grace lay weak on the bed. When she saw her daughter, her lips curved into a small smile. Chioma placed the bouquet gently beside her and said, "They said flowers make people feel better." Grace stared at the flowers for a long time and then whispered, "I don't need flowers, Chioma. I need you." Chioma frowned. "Mommy, what do you mean? I'm here now." But Grace didn't answer. She just turned away as her tears silently soaked her pillow. She wasn't angry, she was just broken. At that moment, she realized that her daughter had finally become what she raised her to be. Someone who believed that love was measured by what you bought, not how you showed up.